Good evening, folks. This is a recording for both English 8T and English 8E. I have you both on a Monday, but with 8T, we just have one class period, whereas with 8E, we have a longer class. So I'm going to let you know which parts for 8T today, and then you'll continue with the second part of this video tomorrow. Okay, I hope that's not too confusing, but you just follow the instructions. So both of your work, when you click on it, term 2, week 3, Monday the 18th, it's going to start in the same way. Okay, so you open it up and it says to watch this video. You're doing that now. Okay, and step 2, complete this personification worksheet, okay, which is attached here. Okay, so in the last 2 weeks, we've been looking at techniques or strategies for creative writing. Okay, we have looked at metaphor, simile, we've looked at onomatopoeia, and also alliteration. And now here is personification. Okay, some of you may be familiar with this. I hope you are. If not, you will be familiar with it soon. Okay, so you'll go ahead and click to open this sheet. Now you have the choice. You can do this, excuse me, by making a copy of this document and editing it and then submitting that document. Some of you like to type directly onto the form. That's fine. I'm just as happy if you want to write the answers into your English notebook. Just make sure you put a title on it and number the responses. Okay. So either way, you're going to open this worksheet, and it says here, personification. Directions. In each sentence, an object or idea is personified. Okay, we're going to look at a definition here. Identify the object or the idea that is being personified and explain what human trait or action is applied to the idea or object. Okay, now that may sound like a mouthful, but don't worry, it's much more straightforward than you realize. Okay, so what is personification? Personification is a figurative language technique or a way to make your creative writing better, where an object, a thing, or an idea is given human traits or qualities, characteristics. Okay, so let's look at an example. Okay, even if you're totally not sure what that means, it will soon become clear. Okay, so here it says, the wind whispered through the dark and gloomy forest. Okay, now let me ask you a question. What thing in this sentence is doing something that people usually do? The wind whispered through the dark and gloomy forest. If you said the wind, you're correct. People whisper usually. The wind doesn't whisper. Rocks don't whisper. What they're doing here is treating the wind like it's a person, okay, and saying that it whispered, when really what the wind was doing was making a soft sound as it went through the forest, probably rattling the leaves, or rattling is not the right word, okay. That shh sound that you hear when the wind is in the leaves, okay, is what they're calling whispered. Again, this is not a person, and it can't actually whisper, but they're doing that to show us what it sounded like, okay? It's a creative way to help us understand what it sounded like. Okay, so what is being personified? What is being treated like a person? The wind. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just, excuse me, lift this sheet up here, and I'm going to be typing my answers. Again, you're very welcome to write your answers in your notebook and then take a photo of it and upload it. Okay, but I'll write them here. So number 1, question A, okay, what is being personified? I'm going to type the wind. Okay, and now B, which human trait or quality is given? So what is it about humans? What can humans do, or what quality do they have that the wind is being given here? Well, it's the ability to talk. Okay, if you can whisper, you can talk. So in this case, they're treating the wind like it can talk. All right. So now, oops, I'm going to go on to 2. Okay, 2A. The gardener lovingly added the manure to his crops, believe he was making happy flowers. Okay. Gardener lovingly added the manure to his crops, believing he was making happy flowers. Okay. Now, what's being treated like a person here? Okay. If you said flowers, you are correct. Okay. Why? Okay. Okay, so the flowers in some way are being described as if they have the abilities or the qualities of humans. Okay, so what trait or quality is given? In this case, that's right, it's having feelings or emotions. Okay, the ability to be happy. Can plants actually be happy? Well, you may think so. I don't think we know about their emotions. Certainly, they're not happy in the same way that people are happy. Maybe they're thriving, they're growing fast because they're well taken care of, but they're not happy in the same way that we are, as far as we know. Okay, so that's personification. Now, I've given you a little bit of help with the first two, but I'll ask you to go on and do the rest on your own. There are 10 altogether. It goes on to the second page. Okay, so be sure to do all 10 there. But you've already got the first two right if you've watched this video. Okay, so that's the full assignment for 8T because you have a shorter period today. But 8T, you're going to go on, you're going to start right here tomorrow and follow the instructions here for the next step, okay, which you don't have to do for today's assignment, but you'll come back to this tomorrow, okay? So I'm going to jump out of this document and go over to my 8E class. Where are you? Okay. Now, 8T, if you're still watching or if you're watching this on Tuesday, this second part will be posted for you. Okay. So looking at 8A, excuse me, 8E for Monday. Okay, your task A is to watch the short video, that's this one, to complete the personification, that's what we just did. Okay, so you need to do that. And then, because you have a longer class, you're going to go on and do these steps. Okay, so I've attached for you a short PowerPoint, just 2 slides, called I Saw the Can of Diet Coke. Okay, note from me, I don't like Diet Coke. I'm not promoting Diet Coke. I don't think it's very good for you. I used to drink it when I was at university and needed to stay up all night, and it did the job, but it's not healthy. So you should know that's not for me, but it will help you to think about detailed description. Okay, so when you read, well, let's open this up. I saw the can of Diet Coke. Okay, is this sentence descriptive enough? If not, try and improve it. Okay, so I saw the can of Diet Coke sitting on the desk. It was calling to me. Ooh, that's personification. Okay, because a can can't call to a person, can it? People call to other people. Okay. Now, that's good use of personification. It makes us realize that the person feels as if they're being attracted by this can. Okay. But there's more that could be said here. Okay, so how could you describe a can of Coke with a lot of detail? Pause your video here and do some writing about that. Maybe just 5 minutes. See what description you can come up with. Okay. Now, if you've paused and come back, we'll go on to slide 2 here. Okay. Now it says, improving the description. Here's a better description. Let's read it together. Drip, drip. I watch as condensation forms on my Coke can, and thin little rivulets of water slowly glide down the brilliant surface of the can and are soaked up by the thin cork coaster beneath it. The slick feeling of the small beads of condensation only made me grip the can more tightly as I lifted the can up to my mouth and took a deep swallow of the tantalizing, cool beverage. Okay, I wasn't thirsty before, but I am now, I must say. Now, it's a very close description, as if we're zoomed in on this can of Coke and we can imagine ourselves having a drink. Okay, so I'm going to jump back to the task here. Okay, so we read that slide carefully a couple of times, and then our job is to jump into this form and answer the questions. Okay, it's a Google form. It should ask you for your email, or it will automatically register it. Okay, and it's going to tell you it's a quiz with points. Okay, and you'll go through the questions here. Okay, it says in the description on slide 2, it says, I watch as condensation forms. What is another word for what forms? Okay, not just condensation. If you're going to put another word there, which word from the list could you include? You can use this definition below to help you. Okay, condensation, the drops of water that appear on cold surfaces, such as a fizzy drink can, because of moisture and hot air becoming cool. So if your can's very cold and there's some moisture in the air that's warm, when that hits the can, the water, instead of being in gas form, it condenses. Okay, so that should give you an idea of what's your answer here. Okay, nice and easy. Mark that and add that word to your vocabulary. Okay, similar question here with the word rivulet. Number 3, okay, question about this word brilliant and what it tells you. 4, how do the beads of water on the can feel? How does Diet Coke taste? Okay, tick all the answers that are correct. So there can be more than one right answer. In fact, there are 2 answers that are correct. Okay, and for the last one, which ones of the 5 senses are used in the description? Tick all of the answers that you feel are correct. Okay, and when you're done, just hit submit. Okay, and I'll get a record that you, with your email, have completed this task. Okay, good job. Thanks very much. And